Now,
going right now.
I'm not going to say Girl Meets World because that is immediately jumping the gun and jumping to the obvious conclusion, because it's fueled by Ben Savage and the one that plays Topanga. I forget her name. I know her name, but it's on the tip of my tongue. Yeah, Danielle Fishel. I remember seeing pictures of her on Google a couple of years ago in high school that I won't go to.
Danielle.
But that's what that's fueling off of there. The hottest Disney Channel show right now has to be definitely either Dog with a Blog or I Didn't Do It. I Didn't Do It is so just got an unbelievable talented cast. It's just amazing. They've got Piper Curda. They've got one of my favorites, Olivia Holt, who you guys have really got to check out if you don't know anything about Olivia Holt. She is amazing. She just adapts so easily to her surroundings, and no matter what role you give her, she just tries to bring the best out of her. I'm going to have to go with definitely I Didn't Do It. It's probably one of the best shows since So Random.
I kind of agree with you there. I think they're really starting to show off I Didn't Do It now as far as musical abilities.
It's hard to decide what your favorite show is on Disney now because there's so many
the
good
one who plays
ones.
her brother playing the drums, and now there's. I mean, the only thing if I were to speculate on anything, Liv and Maddie. If you asked me after the first season was done with Liv and Maddie, I would have said this show is probably going to have one more season and that's it. Well, they just started season 3 not that long ago of Liv and Maddie, and
you know what? It's because you have a girl playing two characters at the same time because of a camera trick, and she has an incredible voice. That's why. She's really showing her talent. Along with that, she's been in so many Disney Channel movies. But I think we're at a point now in Disney, we're really at a crossroads where I think they're trying to figure out who they're going to have lead their new group of Disney Channel stars, and I think it's really a toss-up now between a lot of them. I think it's a toss-up between Sabrina Carpenter and Dove Cameron. And I think that, there are just so many great Disney Channel shows, even in the animation department. They are really putting out. The 7D is amazing. They've taken the 7 dwarves and turned them into a bunch of retarded dwarves who don't care about anything. I think the personalities of the dwarves are nuts. Gravity Falls is pretty good too. You have so much stuff going on with Disney right now. You've got to subscribe to Disney Channel if you haven't got it. Great. Bob's reading down through his Twitter again. Bob, your Twitter's at Wacko Bob? Wacko Bob's your Twitter?
Oh, man, I got, yeah, I mean, I am, my Twitter is at Wacko Bob, yeah, at Wacko Bob. Here's to finish off that question, too, because someone did have a very similar question. I will say Girl Meets World is, and of course it's going to be by default because of Danielle Fishel and Ben Savage and some of the old cast members doing recurring work in there, including the janitor who used to be the bully. I mean, they already had Matthew Lawrence return, which was Sean Hunter's brother, and Sean Hunter himself comes back for a limited time. My only issue with Girl Meets World is a lot of things are surrounded that have the fans' interest is surrounded around your two recurring characters. The one who plays Maya's mother, the mother to Sabrina Carpenter's character.
Again, we're
going
back
Sean
to the
Hunter,
experienced actors and actresses. That's what this show seems to be revolving around, Bob. And I think that's why everybody is going back to this show, because they remember Boy Meets World. I mean, I don't think there's a listener in your chat room who can't remember Boy Meets World. I remember Mick Foley on that show and talking to Mick Foley about coming through the wall. Being on season 2 of Boy Meets World, and Vader didn't want to even go to Boy Meets World because it was so long ago, but I made him talk about it in a phone conversation that I had with him.
Yeah. Don't be too surprised if he returns to that show, because he played the role of the other bully's father. Don't be too surprised that you see these things. You're seeing old cast members come back, and it's something to see, but at the same time, you're supposed to be surrounding it around, and they do work the storylines around them too, which is around, of course, Sabrina Carpenter and Roland Blanchard, and their two characters. So they do that, but it's what the people are interested in seeing. Even the young kids
they're doing the same thing in Boy Meets World.
What's going to happen
what they're doing with
Maya's
Girl Meets World here. They're creating storylines for you to follow up from episode to episode with, like they did with Boy Meets World back in the day, back in the 90s. The thing is, there are so many different scenarios. You take a look at all the other Disney shows out there, and there are very simplified concepts and storylines for people to follow because of the age demographic that it's reaching out to. A show like Girl Meets World is reaching out to all different age demographics because we remember these characters from Boy Meets World. Because what you're doing, you're sitting at home, you're channel surfing, and then you see Girl Meets World, and you see the guy who played Minkus, or you see the guy that played Sean, or you see Ben Savage, and your initial reaction is, my Jesus, I haven't seen these guys in years, and you get so excited because you remember them. So you watch it, and you stay watching it. You keep watching it from the beginning of the show to its climax, and that's why the show's seeing as high ratings as what it is.
And you're absolutely right about that one. You definitely are with Boy Meets World or Girl Meets World, I should say. So that one was by default. The other one I have to say, I think I Didn't Do It is probably going to take over the top spot at some point. But I Didn't Do It is going to be, to me, is going to be like every other successful show at Disney. Same thing with Liv and Maddie. I think they're going to have their 4 years max, and that's it. The only one that might do more than 4 years would be Girl Meets World, because Boy Meets World went 7 years, and you're going to look for them to try to get it at least straight through to where they graduate high school, which would take 6 seasons to do. But, and this is a big but, the only other show that really did more than 4 seasons technically was The Sweet Life. They just simply moved them to a boat because the one who played the mother had gotten pregnant. If you look at that first episode where they're actually going to go on the ship and go to school and live on the ship, you see the mother there. They're hiding the fact that they were doing anything they could to hide the fact that she was pregnant. Your thing to look at as far as Sweet Life goes. They technically went 6 seasons. They did 3 seasons of Sweet Life with Zach and Cody. They did 3 years of that, and then they did 3 years of Sweet Life on Deck, and they were actually supposed to have a 4th year of Sweet Life on Deck, but the twins opted not to do it. The Sprouse twins wanted out of their contract because they wanted to have some creative control over their characters, because they got to points where they didn't like the direction characters were starting to go in.
No, they didn't. I Didn't Do It seems to be, like I said, a comedy sketch show, and I think that's kind of in the same category as So Random. I don't know what happened to Tiffany Thornton. I really think that Ariana Grande and Tiffany Thornton could have done a great show together if ever the opportunity ever arose, because they were both retarded. I like retarded characters. I think that retardation and Disney really go together well.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I don't think they're going to do. I think part of the deal that's going on too is that you'll do very little of extra things with the cast of Girl Meets World, because they want to really focus them on that one. If you look at the Cole twins, if you look at them, you look at or the Sprouse twins. They're actually Dylan and Cole Sprouse. They really only focused on Sweet Life. They only did one movie of Sweet Life, and they really weren't wanting to. They really didn't feel they needed to do that one, where you saw Wizards of Waverly Place and Hannah Montana do all these movies and specials, where Sweet Life didn't need any of that.
Because they knew who they were. I found that Cole and Dylan Scranton were really, really arrogant people. I found their arrogance really shone through, and not so much with Ashley Tisdale, or not even Brendan Song, or whatever her name, the one that played London Tipton, Brendan Song, wasn't it? I think that was it. Yeah.
Yeah.
She didn't even have any arrogance being shown through there. I think that there were a lot of arrogance. There was a lot of arrogance from Colin Dillon. So I think that they knew who they were. They eventually got to a point where they knew where they were, and they just didn't want to do it anymore, I think.
Yeah, I mean I mean it was just and I heard that they pretty much have gone on to college and whatnot. Brenda Song, I believe she's still under contract with Disney. She's just, I think even she's taken time off, but I think you'll see her back.
I think this is a really good idea, and if it comes into fruition, we definitely deserve something or some recognition for it. Here's how Nickelodeon makes millions of dollars. You find a place in Hollywood, in Los Angeles. You build a high school for performing arts students who want to actually attend a school. You call it Hollywood Arts from Victorious, and you give them a chance to enroll in it to become experienced in theater arts. Watch Nickelodeon's revenue go through the fucking roof. Build a performing arts school identical to the one in Victorious. See what happens.
Well, I mean, they have stuff like that. That are a branch off the schools. They just simply call them, along with the school name, they'll call them the performing arts or something like that. There was a school down here called Dillard, and they had the regular school, and then they had the Dillard